I'm Cape Joel, and this is Comic Smack, your weekly, daily, all the time, anytime comic show where I give you your fix, everything you need to know from the world of comic books and superheroes. And on today's show, we're taking one final look at INHUMANS vs X-Men issue number 6, the grand finale in this ongoing series. Which team will ultimately walk away victorious, and what will the future hold in the aftermath? Well, wonder no longer. Let's hop on in together and find out, shall we? Okay then, so when we last left off, the coalition of X-Men convened under Emma Frost were attacking a bunch of young INHUMANS as well as young time-traveling Cyclops, even though they were trying to destroy the Terrigen Cloud, which was the very thing that they wanted to accomplish in the first place, but hey, whatever. Magneto, the master of magnetism, for a brief second remembered, oh hey, that's right, I'm a villain, I don't have to play by regular rules of engagement, and decide to drop an entire X-Jet on top of everybody just to end things. This plan is thwarted, however, when the Inhuman cavalry, led by Medusa, returns out of limbo to help even the odds. So yes, here we go finally. After 6 issues, both armies are at full strength and meeting each other on the field of battle, and we get ourselves one big dust-em-up, only it's made needlessly complicated. You see, the Stepford Cuckoos use their psychic powers to jump inside the minds of some of the weaker-willed members of the Inhuman team and get them to turn on their people. But then Mosaic ends up hopping up inside the body of Storm only to get attacked by the other Inhumans, so essentially we have everyone fighting everyone else in a big giant directionless cluster. Then you got the younger Inhumans and the younger X-Men who don't want to fight at all anymore now that they know what the actual stakes of this fight really is. So what I'm saying is it's really hard to root for anyone in this battle. For a brief second there, it looks like the X-Men actually have the upper hand, but that quickly changes when the Prince of the Inhumans, Medusa, and Black Bolt's son, the head of the Unilux Corporation, shows up. The kid's here to end the war, but he's not here to fight either. He managed to take Forge's design that were improved on by Moon Girl, and with that is able to create a machine that will be able to easily destroy the Terrigen Cloud and make Earth habitable again for mutant kind. No word on whether this machine also manages to fix the sterility problem that was facing the mutant community, or maybe if that's something they gotta do when they cure the Fox virus. Now, while anyone could press the button and activate the machine, everyone knows the only way that this is going to take and actually end up working is if Medusa does it herself. Well, okay, honestly, the Prince and the young Inhumans and X-Men don't really give her much of a chance, saying, hey, you know what, if you had just told us the whole truth at the beginning of this thing, maybe we all could have worked together on finding out a solution that could have kept the Cloud and the mutants, but you didn't, so now we're on major crunch time right now, so it's either wholesale genocide of the X-Men or you press that button. Medusa ultimately knows what's right and agrees to press the button, in doing so wiping away a black spot from her husband's, record, and also letting it be known to everyone around that, hey, she's the queen, she makes the decisions for good or for ill. Well, there you go. The Cloud's destroyed, the mutants can live happily and in peace again, everyone is pretty much ready to go home, that is except for Emma Frost, who, as I've said a million times before, and say it with me this time, is the true villain of this story. She's still all torn up and hung up on the dead Cyclops and vows to kill all Inhumans if it'll make her feel better. If nothing else though, Rogue, Storm, and all the other X-Men begin to realize, oh yeah, you're a villain, why did we ever trust you? This had nothing to do with the protection of our race, but everything to do with you. How evil is Emma Frost? Well, turns out she was actually using her amazing psychic powers to manipulate Forge into building her a new line of Inhuman hunting sentinels, which, I gotta admit, they actually look pretty frickin' sweet. I hope they make these into figures one day. The rest of the story plays out pretty much exactly like you imagined it would. Now that the true villain has revealed itself, Inhumans and X-Men manage to bury the hatchet by joining forces to defeat her. Medusa is just about to decide Emma's fate when, wouldn't you know it, she gets saved at the last second by Havoc, who apparently, much like Emma, is also still hung up on the dead Cyclops and has no agency of his own. Also, hey, isn't this exactly how things ended in Axis for Havoc, only instead of taking Emma away, he took Janet the Wasp away? Here's hoping we don't lose him again for another 3 years. From there, the X-Men get ready for everything to return to normal, no doubt planning to move their school from literal limbo back into, non-limbo. Medusa is forced to advocate the throne and install Iso as Queen Regent, mainly because there's a good chunk of new humans out there upset at the fact that they may never get their very own superpowers now. But, the freedom of not being queen anymore certainly does have its fringe benefits, mainly that she is free to pursue her love life life. Now, no, not with the Human Torch. She decides to patch things up with her husband Black Bolt. Because, you know, they're probably going to be together in that new IMAX movie experience thing, so it only makes sense to put them back together as a couple now. INHUMANS vs X-Men number 6 was a pretty okay conclusion to what was ultimately a pretty okay event at the end of the day. Perhaps my biggest complaint is that there were really no twists and turns to this one. It more or less played out exactly as I imagined it would play out in my mind. Furthermore, despite, you know, in the beginning the argument between X-Men and humans being pretty complex and pretty multi-layered, they solve it really easily. Once again, this is one of these huge world redefining Marvel stories where I feel like everything could have been fixed if everyone just sat down and talked for longer than 15 minutes. Also, despite everything that went down, no one really got hurt, and it doesn't look like anyone's going to be holding much of a grudge going into the future. Also, and this is just me talking here, if you didn't like the Inhumans, I don't think this event storyline will make you like them anymore, and if you're not currently reading X-Men, I don't think this event will make you pick up that book either. Once again, to reiterate, it was pretty okay. I give it a 6.5 out of 10. And hey, you know what, if you want to see more pretty okay videos, I got all sorts of them here on the channel. And if you want to keep up with them, by all means check me out on my pretty okay social media. I got Twitter, I got Facebook, I got Twitch and Instagram, I got all sorts, and you can find links to all of them down in the description. And hey, do you like pretty good comic podcasts? Well, I got that too in the Comic Multiverse. You can find that over on SoundCloud. It's a weekly show I do with Matt from Fortress of Solitude. So, until we meet again everyone, I've been Cape Joel, and I will see you in the next video.